Hey, this is Matt Cain with the San Francisco Giants, and you guys are listening to Torture Cast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants.
Let's go, Giants!
With hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, Ben Lee, and Eric Nathanson. Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball, the San Francisco Giants. This is Torture Cast.
Standing on time, not gonna stop. We came to play, ain't slowing down. Falling on, we're here to stay, and we're stomping on whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a Giant tonight.
It's Monday, May 10th, 2016, and this is episode 104 of the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Chad King, and joining me tonight is Eric Nathanson. Eric, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. The weather's turning nice. It's summertime. Baseball is just full swing all the time right now.
It is. I mean, this is kind of one of those times of the year where sports nirvana kind of hits. Certainly for Bay Area fans, that's for sure.
You have your hands full tonight.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Tonight we had the A's and the Giants going. The A's lost. The Giants are still playing. Of course, they're losing 3-1. Sharks had a good game, but they lost. They're going to a Game 7. And, of course, the Golden State Warriors are playing Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals against the Portland Trail Blazers and currently are down by 8. So we'll see what happens, but if things continue the way they have been tonight, it looks like it might be a clean sweep against the Bay Area tonight. But, you know, it is what it is. It happens. You know, the Giants and A's are regular season. Sharks still have a chance. Warriors, of course, still have a really good chance coming home. But let's talk about Giants. We're not here to talk about Warriors. You just might hear me, make some guttural reactions here later in the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chad's watching the game. I've got the Giants on. It's still...
I'm like, oh, what? Oh! Yeah, it's been an interesting game tonight for the Warriors. So
I totally get it. I have faith though that if they don't win this, they could still win this.
Well, what did I just say? They were down by 8 or 9, right?
Yeah.
In just my intro, they're now down by 3.
Yep.
So here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's talk about this. I did a little solo podcast last week, covered a lot of the stuff that happened the previous couple of weeks. Of course, Willie and I covered a game. Willie did fly out from Austin. That was actually a really fun time, but it was against the Padres, and it went like 4.5 hours or whatever it was, so we didn't get to get a chance to record a bonus episode. They did win that game. Since I did record, they did play against Colorado and split 4. It's one of those things where I'm not too disappointed with a 2-game split or 4-game split, only because the Rockies had the momentum going in. They won. They crushed the Giants 17-7. Of course, that first game. The second game, the Giants won, 6-4. The third game, the Giants really could have lost that game 3 times. They really could have.
Yeah.
And they pulled it out, of course, in the 13th inning. The fourth game was a bit of a bad luck loser. Samardzija got caned. He pitched well and lost the game 2-0. So, you try kind of trade losses and wins throughout the year, and you go, well, if everything went right, they would have won 3 out of 4, but they swapped 2 victories kind of in a sense. So, it happens. But more importantly, we want to talk about the pitching right now. That's kind of been the hot button topic for Giants world right now, if you will.
Jake Peavy and Matt Cain. And Timmy Lincecum's hanging out there.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Cain had been horrible. Peavy had been worse. And then Cain just comes in against Colorado and gives up 8 earned runs against them. He raised his ERA almost to 9. Peavy was 9 coming in. And in fact, the stats are really astounding. I mean, I hadn't seen it yet, so I kind of did a little math today. The front 3 of the rotation are looking actually very good. 12-5, and they really could be 13-4. 3.04 ERA. We will take that any time of the day. My God, your first 3, pitchers are, what is that? Better than 750 ball, 3.04 ERA. Fantastic. Cain and Peavy, however, on the back end are 1-7 with an 8.40 ERA. And tonight has not helped. So Peavy, ironically, has actually lowered his ERA tonight. He gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings. So still not a quality start. Not going to get the win. But he did lower, sadly, their combined ERA.
Well, he had to fight for it too. I mean, 3 runs. It's funny. Everybody's like, "Ooh, 3 runs." It's he did his job, but I mean, not really, because 5 innings and 3 runs still isn't totally doing your job.
No, it's not. It's not. He was bad. He was missing his mark again today. He gave up that home run to Encarnacion. He makes him look silly in one swing, and then he grooves a 2-seam fastball. It just hovers over the plate, and he just crushed it. I mean, these are the things that are going to cost them. You know, Peavy is not what he was 8 years ago. We know this, and that's not what we expect him to be. But we don't expect this. I mean, I had concerns. I mean, you know, you can rewind and go back to our season preview episode. And he was my number one concern in the rotation. I mean, Kane obviously was a concern, but Peavy was my number one. And man, I mean, he has exceeded my direst expectations, to be honest. I mean, I thought, you know, 6.0 ERA after a couple of months or a month or something, that's going to be pretty bad. No. It's even worse than that. So, of course,
it is. His start. I'm looking at his starts this season. I mean, against the Mets, 2 innings, he walked 5 guys. 2+, I should say, because of the start of that huge inning. Last time out against Cincinnati, 6 innings. You know, he gave up 7 runs. He's given up 10 hits, 11 hits, 7 hits, 7 hits, 8 hits. I don't know what he gave up tonight. I think 6 hits, is that? 5 hits, maybe?
I think it's around 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, he's consistently leaving it out there for them to just knock it around the yard. And that's why some of them, there've been a lot of extra base hits against Peavy as well. There's some crazy number, like half of the hits against him are just about extra base hits.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been one of those things, and of course we have Timmy Lincecum, who had his showcase finally on Friday, and I actually watched the stream live from work, and it was pretty interesting. He threw 41 pitches in his cargo shorts and his camo socks. That was unbelievable. I mean, that is just classic Timmy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Warriors just went up by 1. We'll continue.
Wow.
So yeah, it was unbelievable to see him come out there. Had a catcher who couldn't even throw back to him very well, but he threw 41 pitches. He did touch 92 on 1 or 2 pitches, but he was consistently between 90 and 91. Now, I can't get a whole lot. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scout. I've played baseball, but looking from the camera angle that Comcast had from behind the plate, his hook actually looked really good. I mean, it was dropping significantly, and he wasn't leaving it up. Again, granted, this is not against live hitting. It's not against umpires. There's not 40,000 people watching. It's a completely different scenario. But that being said, his core stuff looked pretty darn good. The Timmy that I know, of course, leaves pitches up, or has been leaving pitches up, and he wasn't. He was consistently down, waist or below in terms of his fastball, his splitter, and his curve. That all looked great. That seemed to be confirmed by a lot of the people that were there presently, including some scouts and some people who have more informed opinions than I do. And they said that he looked pretty good. He's not throwing 97. He's not going to mystify anyone. But, maybe the hip surgery did allow him to create that more solid base that he needs. He needs that leg power for that small frame. And it's possible that it's helping him out a little bit.
Are you telling me that you're on board? Like, it's the internet's just a buzz.
The internet, no.
Everything with Lincecum is click-worthy. Everybody, wants Lincecum to come back. Since
Lincecum is clickbait for Giants fans. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. No, I am not saying. Let me go ahead and throw the gauntlet down right now. I am not saying, because I thought he looked pretty decent, that they should sign him and throw him right in the number 4 or 5 spot. No. Oh my God, no. Not at all.
Still going to take him like a month probably with any team.
Well, he doesn't have the stamina right now, right? He hasn't faced any live hitters in God knows how long, other than, his buddies or something. I mean, no, that doesn't count. But if the Giants actually have sincere interest because of what's going on, not only in their middle relief because of Contos and Romo, and I know they're coming back soon, and we'll talk about that, but just the fact of they've had such a revolving door between them and AAA, and they've already DFA'd a couple of guys.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he at least potentially be the 12th option in the bullpen at this point? And I would say that's a decent chance if And only if he obviously wants to stay with the Giants, no one else throws at him, hey, we'll sign you for $3 million a year or whatever, and Timmy wants to come back. So there's a lot of ifs there. But if those things do happen, I do think that it's worth taking a flyer on him because, granted, if they were to sign him, in the next week or whatever, it's not like he's going to be right on the roster and playing. I'm sure they're going to want him to throw a couple of simulated games, maybe throw in AA or AAA, and then come up, right? I mean, that's what I would assume.
Maybe. I've wondered because there's been chatter that his dad is really pushing the whole make him a starter thing. So I have to wonder if this stamina and stuff we've talked about is something that they've tried to, stress. We have no idea if he came in saying I could be ready soon or something like that. Because I can't see him taking a minor league. I don't know. I just don't see it happening.
Well, that's part of the what ifs, right? It's like that's my perfect scenario. That's my conditions, and if those conditions are not met, then again, I would say you got to pass on him because you can't just outright sign him, promote him, and he's a starter for Peavy or Kane. You just can't do that. I'm not saying he's going to be worse than Kane or Peavy, but why would you do that? Why would you take one of those guys, an established veteran, pull him out of the rotation, and throw him with a guy who just had a showcase in cargo shorts?
In cargo shorts.
No. I would. I guess I would never. I would definitely never do that to Kane because he has a few years left on his contract.
Yeah, you can't do it to Kane. You have to do it to Peavy.
You have to do it to Peavy. Yeah.
I mean, it really does beg the question, though. Yeah, Peavy's the problem, but what's the answer? It's certainly not like, even if it's not like, say, Lincecum, and just putting it aside, we could probably go like a whole hour talking about Tim Lincecum. Period. I don't think the Giants should sign him unless they get to do everything at their own pace.
Exactly.
Otherwise, if Timmy wants to be a starter, go do whatever you want somewhere else. Good luck
if Miami or the Angels, who have been decimated.
Yes.
I think the Angels are actually. If I were to bet, money, obviously,
good.
I would say the Angels are going to sign him because he wants to stay on the West Coast. The Padres are interested too. That could be. I would put them at number 2 at this point in likely teams to sign him. But the Marlins have been talking about it. Now, he might not want to go to the Marlins, of course. But after that, it kind of wanes. The interest is waning.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's very likely he's going to go to the White Sox or Seattle or some of the other rumored teams in interest. So I'd put the Giants at 3 or 4 right now.
Oh, God,
and again, only if the Giants can set their terms, like you said.
Right. Okay. So this is really only legit being discussed. I mean, if Peavy and Kane were pitching well this year, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We'd be talking like, oh, that's great for Timmy. I hope he finds a job somewhere. If Kane and Peavy had been getting it done, but since they haven't, I mean, what is the answer? It's not Lincecum probably. It's not like Heston down in the minors because I've been looking at his numbers lately and he's been getting battered everywhere.
Same with Blackburn. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So is there like somebody out there? I mean, I heard John Danks got DFA'd. I mean, is there somebody like that off the scrap heap? Because this is not a time to trade for a starter.
Warriors are by 4.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Or do the Giants just keep like trying to ride it out and just keep throwing Peavy and Kane out there no matter what? I mean, he went 5 innings and gave up 3 runs, and like we're okay with it. We're not saying it's a great start, but we're okay with it.
Isn't that sad? I mean, a guy who has a 9.0 ERA comes in his 7th start, and he gives up 3 runs and 5, and we're like, hey, that's not too bad.
I mean, here it is though. It's the top of the 8th inning, and the Giants haven't scored but 1 run.
Yeah.
They're not holding up their end of the bargain either. So
no, not at all.
Peavy's he's done his job, if you will, even though it wasn't a full 6 innings at least. But I think you got to keep them in there. I think the answer is staggering them to save the bullpen. So you don't keep burning through guys like Vin Mazzaro.
Yeah, Vin Mazzaro, who already got DFA'd after his
right?
sacrificial appearance against the Rockies. I swear, that was like Indiana Jones and his heart getting pulled out. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. It was like, oh boy. I feel sorry for this kid. Well, he's not a kid. He's 30-something years old. He's actually a veteran of the minor leagues. But, Yeah.
He's a well-traveled reliever.
Well-traveled reliever is the way to put it. Yeah, very much so. And that's why. Exactly what you just saw what happened against Colorado. At AT&T, by the way. And by the way, the Colorado Rockies, of course, we all know about the prolific offense and their Blake Street Bombers and the fact that they do so well at Coors Field. They actually set a franchise record for runs in an inning. And it was at AT&T Park.
That's so crazy.
Granted, a couple runs were unearned, but it doesn't matter. It still runs.
I have to say it was really impressive because we've addressed the pitching. There's not much that can really be done about it right now.
No,
but it was kind of impressive as a team to see them win Friday night.
Yes.
After getting shellacked like that on Thursday night.
Yeah. No, it was really good to see them come back, and Mad Bum had a really bad inning, 4 runs, but that was it. I mean, he still pitched 6 innings, or maybe it was 7. I can't remember. And it was 3 earned runs, by the way. There was 1 unearned run. So he had a quality start, and he got the win, and they won 6-4. So that was fantastic. And, of course, Cueto dazzled again.
Yeah.
8 1/3 shutout innings. And, of course, they win that in the 13th after Crawford tied it up in the bottom of the 10th. They traded runs there. And Matt Duffy had the I don't know. I don't know how he missed that ball. Yeah, the quote double question mark.
Yeah, he said it. He said it after the game. He's like, I don't remember touching second.
Yeah, we'll take it. In fact, I remember seeing, I think it was Brian Murphy from KNBR actually tweeted out, because it's one of those things where you always hear about, it's a walk-off hit, like you hit off the fence or something like that. And if you only touch first and you get mobbed by your teammates, they credit it as a single. But if you have the peace of mind or the state of mind to actually run to the next base and touch it, you'll actually get credit for that base.
Yep.
So he was like, here's a lesson for all you future major leaguers. When you have a walk-off hit, run as far as you can. See what you get credit for. And he got credit for a double. Remember Robin Ventura in the playoffs for the Mets? He hit that walk-off grand slam.
His walk-off grand slam single.
It got recorded as a single, even though he hit it over the fence. He hit it over the fence. He got credit for 1 RBI. Well, I think it was 1 RBI.
That was one of the craziest baseball games I'd seen.
That was. Yeah, that was insane. So, yeah, he got robbed of a home run there. But I don't think he cares about that.
You mentioned Cueto. This guy is fitting in so perfectly. He loves the spotlight. He loves kind of being a horse and dazzling and shutting. He goes out there like a performer putting on a show.
Yeah, he does.
And he wants to do his best for this Giants home crowd every time. He hasn't given up a run at home in a lot of innings. I don't remember what the number is. It's 8, 9. So what is that? 17 1/3. So something like 24 or 25 straight innings. He hasn't given up a run at home. I think that Dodgers big inning, or he had a random run in that game where the Dodgers got him early in the season, is the last time he gave up a run at home.
Yeah, no, he has been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, against the Dodgers, he gave up 5 in that first inning, and then he settled down after that. But he's fun to watch. Just his emotion, his face, the way he wiggles and changes his delivery and his tempo, which is all part of his game, and we've all seen it before, but it's one of those things. When he's on your team, you love it. When he's on the other team, you don't love it. So far, he's completely worth the money. Yeah. And so far, Samardzija, too. I mean, he's one of those guys where I had a question mark. I was like, really? We'll see. I mean, he did well with the Cubs. He's done okay in the National League. But he
threw 123 pitches yesterday.
Yeah, he did. And he pitched well. I mean, 2 runs. Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, you cannot ask for more than that from your starter. That's fine. But when you get shut out, it doesn't matter. So, I mean, that wasn't his fault. We all know.
No, but I wonder. He has stretched out. He's been over 100 pitches a few times.
Well, he's such a horse.
Yeah, they've stretched him out, and I'd really like to see that they're willing to do that, and he doesn't seem to have any problem with it.
No, in fact, I think I said this in our season preview, but there was one of those scouts who, they saw his medical examination, and of course they do MRIs of their shoulder and the mobility tests and the physical and everything like that. And he was quoted as saying he has the arm of a baby. I mean, he has no wear on his shoulder and elbow. So if that stays true, which is probably the reason why he is such a horse and he can pitch so many innings, that just speaks to volumes of it. Now, a lot of people also pointed out that Barry Zito was the same kind of pitcher.
Yeah, but Barry Zito wasn't hitting like the mid to high 90s.
No, of course not.
In like the 8th inning, all of a sudden,
Samardzija was hitting.
Samardzija was doing.
He was at
that.
97. He was hitting 97.
I had no idea he was going to really bring it like that.
Holy shit! I thought he was like 93 most of the time, but he was hitting 97.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I think he gets stronger. He's like a Bumgarner type, which is just like I said, Cueto fits in. That's why Samardzija fits in. He's going to do things because he gets the perfect kind of clubhouse and stuff around him.
Yeah, no, and he's funny and he seems legit and genuine and all of those things. So I think those two guys have fit in better than I actually assumed they would fit in, to be honest. I was hoping for as good as they are. And granted, it's only 6 weeks into the season, but very good so far. Kane, again, I talked about this in my solo podcast. God damn it, I pull for this guy. He really is. He's such a nice guy and such a competitor, and he's been so good for the Giants. He has done so. I mean, he's not quite on the level of Lincecum. We all know that because of the Cy Youngs and everything like that. But as far as his playoff performances and his perfect game and the fact that he's the longest tenured Giant, he played with Barry Bonds. He was signed in, came up in 2005. He just is that guy that you just pull for so hard, and it just isn't working out. And he shows flashes of brilliance. He really does. He's hitting 93. He can spot a couple innings here and there, and then he just wears out. He just gives up a couple of mistake pitches, and boom, boom, boom. Suddenly he's down 3 runs, 4 runs, 5 runs, and I don't know what it's going to take. His control just is not quite there. His stuff is there. His control
it is.
Isn't.
He's got movement on pitches.
That's the
definitely
thing.
Does.
He's got movement and he's got speed. He does not have accuracy, and that's what's killing him right now. And so I don't know what it's going to take to get him. Obviously, we all know that Peavy needs to be replaced first at this point. I think everybody has that consensus, especially because this is the last year of Peavy's contract, correct?
Yes.
So he's gone after this year. They have no financial or emotional obligation to him. But Kane is signed through 2020, I guess, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah,
21
I think
maybe?
we were discussing it on Twitter the other night, and I had to. I don't even remember what the numbers are anymore. I had to point out that I kind of don't care what the contracts are unless I have to look them up for a show or to write an article, because I'm all about the players making their money. So I never really kind of think about how much the teams are spending, because baseball doesn't have a cap. You don't really worry, do the Giants have enough money, or is there enough money under the cap? No, the Giants have printed money the last, 6 years. So I never worry about, even if there's big numbers on the books like Kane, I don't think it's going to affect them going forward.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I don't want him to become the next Zito contract for the next few
not
years.
At all.
That's what's really unfortunate. I mean, he still has time to turn it around, this year and of course next year, but I don't know how he's going to turn it around.
Yeah, it goes back far, because he really cut his teeth and showed his stuff in the 2010 playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's really what endeared him to us. And then when it was him that got the perfect game in 2012, it all made sense, and he was on his roll. 2012 playoffs, he was, nails again and really just on, and that's what makes us pull for him so badly. And no offense to Peavy, that's why we want to see Kane last a little bit longer.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
offense.
Yeah, offense. Exactly. Go ahead.
Let's move over to the offensive side of the ball, because the Giants, I mean, they're I think it was 10-6 in their last 16 games. So they're not playing bad baseball right now. There's some, stagnant offense going on right now. They had a rough time against the Rockies over the weekend. They didn't score a run during 9 innings in either the Saturday or the Sunday game. They only have 1 run tonight against Toronto. But they were 10-16 in the last few games, and Belt and Pence have been absolutely red hot. They've been the middle of everything that goes, and if they don't get on, it doesn't seem to get everything going right now. I'm gonna run through some numbers real quick. Belt in the last 16 games, he's hitting .413.
Yeah.
The thing of it is he's walked 19 times. That's before tonight. I know he's walked once tonight, and he's scored 11 times and driven in 13. He only has 1 homer in that 16-game stretch. Including tonight, he has now reached base in 17 straight games via walk or hit.
Wow.
Yes.
Did not
He
know that.
has – yeah, he I think I don't know if he has a hit now tonight. After his first walk tonight, that means he had more walks than hits over the last 16 games while he's hitting 413.
That is not bad.
Right. It's not just that, like, he's scuffling at the plate and here he's drawing a lot of walks. He's hitting the crap out of the ball and his eye. He's third in the National League in the majors, I think it is. But I know it's at least the National League in walks behind Goldschmidt and obviously Bryce Harper, who gets walked all the time now.
Yes.
And
he set a record. He was the first player since like 1905 to reach base safely 7 times without recording an at-bat.
He didn't swing. I watched the entire game. He didn't swing.
He didn't even swing?
No, not once. He had 3 pitches in the zone all
I heard
day
he
long.
had 3 strikes, exactly, and 7 at-bats. Oh,
yeah,
or 7 plate appearances.
Yeah.
Oh,
7 plate appearances. And you know what? Walking him was the right decision in every situation.
Because they won. They won.
Yep. Zimmerman just he couldn't do anything, and Madden was feeling, he was playing his hunch, and it worked out. But anyways, Belt is walking. His eye has just been phenomenal, and he cut down on the strikeouts. He's only struck out. I didn't write it down here. Son of a gun.
Oh well,
He
hasn't struck out much.
8 strikeouts in the last 16 games.
Yeah,
that's 1 every 2 games. That's far from the is this going to be looking or swinging. And Hunter Pence has been hot too. He's hitting 382 over the same stretch. He's been he's got 3 home runs. He's driven in 12. He's driven in 13. He's scored 12 times. 1.154 OPS.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys have just like been making it go. It's kind of weird that the offense is in a rut these last few days.
Oh man, I know. It's one of the so frustrating. But we mentioned the Cubs there when you were talking about Bryce Harper. I don't know how they did tonight, but they're 24-6 coming into today.
They're still 24-6. They got rained out.
Oh, they got rained out. Okay, thanks for letting me know. 24-6, dude. That is, what is that? That's 800 ball. Oh, 750? Okay, 750 ball. I mean, what the hell?
Wait, 750? No,
No,
you're right.
it's 800. It's 80%.
Right, it's
It's 4 out of 5 wins. Yeah. It's the best start since 1977 Detroit Tigers, who were 26-4 to start the season. And there's only been 8 teams in the last 100 years that have started with that record or better over the first 30. 4 of those 8 won the World Series. And you just kind of wonder to yourself. Now, granted, I think 4 or 5 of those teams were clearly way before the expansion era, where they just went to the World Series, right? So
it's a little easier to win the World Series when it's the only.
It's a little different
playoffs.
now. I mean, you could go 162-0, right? You still have to play the division series.
Yep.
Then you still have to play the LCS, and then you have to play the World Series. So you got 3 divisions, of play to go through. So I think today that's what makes the Giants' run of 3 World Series in 5 years so remarkable. It's not just winning 3 out of 5, because that's been done before. It's the fact that they've done it in this era, where you have to win 3 series in a row. And of course, if you're the wild card like the Giants have been, you have to win that play-in game too. And it's incredible that they've done that. But the Cubs, holy shit, dude, they are scary. They just swept the Pirates, and then they swept the Nationals.
Yep, 7-0 during a week against the team that was right behind them and the best team in the East.
Exactly.
It's funny. I've said it since before the season. I may have even said it on this show. I think the Cubs are the best team in baseball. Top to bottom, they just have the best roster, the best mix of everything. But that doesn't mean they're going to win the World Series.
No. I mean, they can win the rest of their games.
And that's what we play for, right? And that's what these guys play for. That's why, like, as long as the Giants win their 92, 93 games and win the West and get in, the Cubs haven't proven jack. They haven't won a 7-game series yet. Cubs haven't won a 7-game series since 1908.
There you go. Boom. Done.
It's the truth. I started thinking about that the other day. You know who's won 7-game series since then? Every expansion team born in the 90s.
And the Giants have won 9 in a row.
Right. So the Cubs, they've done stuff, but they
Yeah.
haven't done anything yet. So, yes, they have the best team in baseball. But, just because we say that and just because we're in awe of their offense and everything like that, doesn't mean we're picking them to win the World Series.
No. Not at all.
Doesn't mean we think they're running away with this and the Giants aren't going to do it.
No, and they've even lost guys like Kyle Schwarber. I mean,
Yeah, that's what's amazing. They have depth. They have depth that I'm envious of. I wish the Giants had this kind of depth. Instead, they have to shuttle Mac Williamson and Jarrett Parker around right now.
No, and if they didn't have Bruce Bochy as a manager, holy crap, their manager is amazing.
Yeah.
I love him. With his tie-dye shirts and his van and his pregame ceremonies and holding bear cubs in spring training. I mean, it's like, what the hell, dude? That's the shit that like just bonds people. But you're right. I mean, they know the history of the Cubs. They know the legacy. They know the shadow that hangs over that organization. So assuming at this point, nothing's guaranteed, assuming they make the playoffs this year, there's a switch. And there's no way that those players are not going to feel that pressure.
Yeah.
And that's what could make the difference.
Well, I mean, it also changes. It changes. The situations change. This national series reminded me of that Giants-Cubs series last year when they swept us, where the Nats were kind of in it, but they never really were, just like the Giants were always kind of in it, but they never really were that whole series.
Yeah.
And it struck me as, the Cubs, it's a situational thing. They need to learn how to do and manage the game between the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th innings, not just as the manager, but as the players on the field and the right decisions to make and which times to apply pressure, which times not to apply pressure. Yeah. And that'll come with time. I think it will. The Cubs window is wide open right now.
But
so is the Giants. And that's the beautiful part. Like we get to be one of the teams that goes up against them. We get to relive, hopefully 1989 highlights later this year. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, Warriors up by 5.
Oh, my God.
And Brandon Crawford just hit a ground rule double that should have been caught.
Oh, wow. Is he leading off the inning here?
Bottom of the 9th, yeah. So right now the Giants are down 3-1, bottom of the 9th. But at least another defensive miscue, losing it on the lights by the center fielder. It bounced over into the Garden net, and they got the tying run up the plate. So, hey, that's something.
It's funny. Their offense, it's been kind of clicking along here, but I can't remember. Crawford had a big 3-run homer the other day. I think that was the real big thing. After falling behind 4-0, the day after getting whacked 17-7, when Crawford hit the 3-run homer, immediately after Bum gave up the 4 runs. It kind of gave him a steadying force. But other than that, Crawford, he kind of like picks his spots. He hasn't been doing much. It feels like Posey. He hasn't been doing much at the plate. It's like every guy's going good. It's just not all at the same time.
I should not call out the Warriors game because there's the Trailblazers just hit 2 3-pointers in a row. And now they're up by 1.
You jinx.
There's still 7:23 left in the game, so plenty of time. But
you're in the 4th. I didn't even know it was that late.
Yeah, but they're up by 5 and literally miss 3-pointer, miss 3-pointer, boom. That's it.
I have to say, I bandwagoned your Warriors last year. Yeah. This year, I didn't have it in me. I had too much going on when basketball was going on.
You don't have to bandwagon. It's okay.
Yeah, and then they broke my Bulls record. And
yeah,
so,
that's true.
I can't. I don't have it in me right now.
Yeah. A little
scream
bitter.
for them. I'm not rooting against them per se, but I'm not tuning in and rooting for them.
Yeah, you're not sweating it. So, yeah, but if the Warriors can steal this one, man, that would be sweet. And they're in position to do it. They're in position to do it, so that'd be nice. But all right, so you also wanted to talk about Joe Panic, right?
Well, I mean, it's not just his hitting that I'm worried about. He's 1 for 12 since he returned from the groin injury. He seems to get injured. Like we had the back thing, these tweaks. He seems to be a muscle guy. These little tweaks in areas and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it kind of worries me. Is he going to be fragile? Are we going to be seeing this with Joe all the time? Do we need to not invest in him? And what we didn't even talk about with him? It's funny. I say all that. And did you see the play he made the other day?
Yes. Yeah, the hook shot. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It was amazing. They were comparing it to the Royals play, but like he was at a completely different angle. It was like a straight hook shot.
Yep. No, it was unbelievable. He dove for that ball, and then he literally just hook shotted it blind, and they had the replay, and boom, called out. And that was a huge play in the game. Probably won the game for them. So, or at least put them in position to win the game.
Do we need to worry that he's like one of these fragile guys?
Yeah, he's, we have the curse of second base. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And we have, Freddie Sanchez, and then we have Marco Scudero, and now we have him. So I don't know what it is. There just seems to be this like rotation of second basemen that have these flashes of brilliance and these epic playoff runs and these wonderful streaks, very short streaks of a year or two, maybe, right? And then they just flame out with injuries, and it's just one of those things. I mean, I thought Freddie Sanchez was the second baseman of our future. I thought he was going to be a Silver Slugger award for 3 or 4 years. Boom.
The guy was a batting champion. You know,
I know.
it was a can't miss.
He goes out. He did great in the 2010 playoffs. Then you have Marco Scudero, of course. Same thing. MVP of the NLCS, does great, helps us win the 2012 World Series. Then he flames out with his back, and then we have Joe Panic come in, and of course he makes one of the best double plays in World Series history, not to mention his other contributions, and help win the 2014 World Series. It's just one of those things. I don't know what it is. He's young and he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's
got
a
so
good
much
player,
talent.
and he could be the Giants' second baseman for the next 8 years, but if he's going to have consistent back groin injuries, what are you going to do? I don't know. So,
Well, it's funny, the injury, and we're talking about Joe and his injuries. The injuries themselves have exposed the depth this year, because Kelby, I haven't been overly impressed with yet. He's getting a good hit here and there, but
Yeah, I know.
he's got stone hands every once in a while. He just seems to not know how to attack a ball, and it catches him mid-hop all the time. I mentioned the Mac Williamson and Jarrett Parker rotation that's going on now with Pagan down and stuff like that. Mac Williamson, I'm very disappointed in, because the guy's had a lot of chances, and he just hasn't shown that he can handle major league pitching. It doesn't seem like he can adjust to the off speed and stuff like that. He's always out in front, or he's always rolling over. So it's kind of exposed their depth. So hopefully some of these guys will come back, like Pagan and Adrianza, in a month or so, and shore that stuff kind of up. So what is it? Pagan's expected back soon, right?
yes. No, he's expected back soon. He's not going to go on the DL, so we'll see what happens here. We also have Andrew Susak. He might be activated on May 12th. Same with Contos. He's thrown, as you said, 21 pitches in Sacramento.
Yeah, 1 inning. He struck out 1.
Yeah, Romo's out until at least May 26th. And then, of course, Adrianza, of course, broke his foot, so he's still out till at least June 22nd.
I didn't think we'd miss him, but I really feel like we kind of do.
Well, the Blue Jays just won, so that's down 3-1. The Warriors just went up by 1 with 5:30 left in the game. So we'll see what happens here. But
So the Giants have scored 3 runs in the last 3 days.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. 3-1 is the final, Blue Jays. So that means the Giants are now 500. And how do the Dodgers do tonight?
I don't think it's over yet.
Okay, so the
I'm going to
Giants
peek
were
now.
only 1 percentage point behind the Dodgers, technically tied for first place.
Last I looked, the Mets were ahead. 4-2, top 9, Mets over Dodgers.
Okay, so we're going to assume that the Giants win this one.
I hope, yeah, I hope so. I hope the Dodgers blow this to the Mets.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap us up. I mean, look, the Giants could be in the NL Central and be behind like 8 games right now. You know, 8.5, whatever the hell it is. It's a hell of a lot, right?
Yeah.
So clearly they're not going to be going for the wild card anytime soon.
No,
Clearly,
but
the West is what they want anyway, and that's
Are
the
you
best
worried?
case scenario.
Here's the thing. They're 500 muddling along right now, but you're like me, right? You know they're just going to kind of click it in and kick it in, and they're going to win a lot of these games. There's a lot of bottom feeders they haven't played yet.
Oh yeah, there's so much baseball left. It's not even funny. I mean, people who are like, "Oh, the Giants are 500, their season's over." It's like, well, wait a minute, they're tied for first place. I mean, no, of course not. It's like a new starting line. That's all it is. It really is.
Yeah, I
So-
have faith that I hope Kane comes out tomorrow, and then we got Bum on against Toronto before they get out of town. So that should be good for them.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they seem what's it called? Just to be happy right now with being a 500 team if they need to be, because I think they know they have a hot streak in them. Because when this offense clicks, when everybody's healthy, they can put up those games of 12 runs that we've seen before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. They can put up these games before, like they have. So I'm not too worried about it right now. Oh, the Warriors are killing me right now.
All right, how much time left before we sign off on this?
The Warriors are up by 1 with 4 minutes left. Portland has the ball. So Curry finally hit his first three-pointer of the night. He's 1 for 10. And Portland just took a three-pointer and missed, but they got the offensive rebound and shot again and missed. And they got the defensive rebound. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop boring you with Warriors basketball. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, have a beer, watch the rest of this game. So yeah, this was episode 104 of the TortureCast. Sorry that Willie and Ben could not be with us tonight. But coming up, we have, of course, the rest of this series against Toronto. And then they're back on the road for 4 in Arizona, who hopefully they will pay retribution for what they did to us at AT&T earlier this year.
That's a place to get the bats healthy too.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, that's where you raise your averages and hopefully not raise your ERAs. Yeah. So you can follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can like us on Facebook, and you can also check out our videos and podcasts on YouTube. You can follow me and all of the guys individually, myself at ChadK21. You can also follow Eric at 2OutHits, Ben at Fried Duck, and Willie at Willie Dills. So for Eric, I'm Chad King, signing off for episode 104 of the TortureCast. We'll see you next time for episode 105.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.